Sorry about the webcam placement on the screen. I didn't realize that at the time of the recording you would have a little bit of trouble seeing where I'm landing. But it's important to pay attention to the keys I'm pressing in conjunction with my mouse movements. I would like to mention that practicing this for the first time in a 64-tick server is nearly impossible. So I would recommend practicing it in either BHOP servers or any 128-tick server you can join from the community server list. So before you get started, first you would need to bind your scroll wheel to jump using the following commands in your developer's console. So I'll be teaching you 3 different methods of bunny hopping. The first is the zigzag, the momentum gainer, and the straight line. These are just titles I made up, so as far as I know right now it's not universal terminology, so maybe someday in the future with the release of this video. Every single one of these BHOP methods start out the same way. First we will do an air accelerated jump, which looks something like this. I personally start doing my B-hops to the left first. So what I would need to do is, let's say I'm running and I'm about to start my B-hop. I would essentially have to do all of the following at the exact same time. Let go of W, hold A, which is my left strafe, scroll wheel up, and move your mouse to the left. So basically all of that at the same exact time. Notice how I have my pointer finger on the mouse wheel at all times. You can also start your B-hop going to the right if you would prefer, so for that you would instead hold D and move your mouse to the right. You know you're doing it correctly if you feel like your speed during the jump was quite high in comparison to a normal jump. It might sound like a lot at first, but this is something you need to learn before you start moving on to the further steps. So again, let go of W, hold A, scroll mouse wheel up, and move your mouse to the left. While you're B-hopping, you basically never want to hold W. One thing to keep in mind is that the bread and butter behind B-hopping is moving your mouse in the same direction that you are strafing. So when you're holding A, at the same time, move your mouse to the left. While you are holding D, at the same time, move your mouse to the right. You can practice this by doing the mouse keyboard movements you currently see on your screen. This is kind of like an exercise. The zigzag style of bunny hop should be the very first style you guys should learn when starting out. This is helpful in a practical situation when you want to try and evade bullets, as it makes you really hard to hit. So first start with an accelerated jump. Before watching up to this part, you should have learned this already, so this should be no problem. Right before you land, you want to scroll wheel and hold D while moving your mouse to the right. Right before you land again, scroll wheel, press A while moving your mouse to the left. And again, right before you land, scroll wheel, hold D while moving your mouse to the right. Remember that little exercise that I said was helpful? It's basically like that, except during each directional change, you can either scroll wheel up or down. The next one I recommend learning is the straight line. This is theoretically the fastest B-hop method in terms of going from point A to point B, being that once you get really good at it, you'd be able to minimize the amount of turns you make. So we start off with our basic accelerated jump. At the peak of the jump, change directions. So at the peak, hold D while moving your mouse to the right. Right before you land, scroll wheel. Now at this point, you will still be moving your mouse to the right to continue the right jump momentum. Now at the peak of this jump, press A while moving your mouse to the left. Right before you land, scroll wheel as always, and just continue the leftward mouse movement until you get to the peak of the jump again. Hold D while moving your mouse to the right. I think you guys get the gist of it. It sounds like a lot, but it's just me breaking down every single little step. Once you get used to moving your mouse in conjunction to the direction of your strafing, and just getting used to these B-hop movements, eventually this would become second nature. Once you perfect the straight line method, I believe the momentum gainer should be really easy for you at this point, just by seeing what it looks like. You would probably be able to do it just by imitating it based on how it looks, but I'll just break it down to you just in case. So this is really helpful when you notice that you're losing speed during your B-hops and you need to gain it back. This is what you need to do. The very first hop is the same exact first hop that you perform in the straight line method. Change directions at the peak of your jump. Right before you land, scroll wheel. Right when you land, hold A again and move your mouse to the left. At the peak of that jump, change directions by holding D and moving your mouse to the right. Before you land, scroll wheel, and basically just repeat this movement over and over again. If you have any trouble learning how to do any of this, my recommendation is to just take it one step at a time. Don't get frustrated if you can't string together BHOPs in your first try.